It has been a great day, a great start to our week. Monday, August 4th, fresh month of August. This is the month that everything's going to start. I'm going back to school in about like 2 weeks. Um, Basically, yeah, August is like the kickoff of, the next chapter of life and everything. So it started off great. And all I'm going to say is shout out to um, Trades, man. I was in his live this morning. I like watching his tape reading streams, and he was doing a giveaway. So I was like, all right, bet. Why not we just tune in? And I don't want to get copyrighted, but I did win a Apex account. I did win. So I was like, no way, what the heck? Didn't make any damn sense. It's kind of crazy how I won a giveaway. Like I never win any type of giveaway like that. So that's actually nice. Very surprised to see that. So, let me just see real quick if it, just to make sure. Like that shit was really nice. It was a fun, it was fun, you know. So it's nice to see that we had that little dub right there. And then on top of that, that was at what time? I can't even see what time it was at. But that was hype as fuck. Yeah, about 10:22, 10:22. And, I hit a little dub before that, and I'll kind of get into that right now. So that was nice. Shout out to Trades. I'm excited to get started on that Apex account. And, yeah, that's fun. I really do appreciate it. So, going into the session, I did want to see Southside get taken out. But after we kept on pumping up past this rally on the 3-minute, there was a 3-minute entry. I was like, all right, most likely we're just going to keep on rallying and, consolidate at the end of the session. That's kind of what I was expecting. I didn't really think we were going to come all the way back down because we just don't have the time for that. If it's already 10:18 and we're consolidating, we don't have time to come down here anymore. Not in the morning session, at least. So we put in 2 fair value gaps to respect this one on the 3-minute and get a close out of it. This could be a potential entry to buy side with some runners just, pushing higher, essentially, because they're very bullish. But I decided to, opt to seeing some kind of sell side and buy side take. I was looking at this 3-minute and I was like, this would be a nice entry. But it's not really something I'd be interested in. Right here is on the 1-minute, but right here is really the 3-minute entry that took us higher. This one was, I believe, what is it? What was this? This is a 1-minute. Okay, yeah, so if you look, we have 1, 2, 1, 2. So 2 fair value gap. There's a 4 fair value gaps in this entire thing. I want to see this upper one be respected, and it did. So that essentially means we are very bullish. So I want to keep my bullish bias going in, even after taking buy side. So I just went down onto the 1-minute, and I'm like, okay, I like how we have this 5-minute fair value gap. Because look, if we have our first 5-minute fair value gap, we have another 5-minute fair value gap, one more, and then finally one more. So seeing this, that's 4 fair value gaps. I want to see these 2 down here. I'm not worried about. I'm identifying this fair value gap right here as my breakaway. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete that. This is my breakaway. This is the first presented. So breakaway on the 5-minute. I don't want to see price come down to there. Price comes down, puts in an internal SMT, and we get this 5-minute close on the low of that 5-minute fair value gap. So I'm like, all right, nice. Price is really bullish. I have a minor buy side target, which is the highs. We're respecting a 5-minute imbalance, respecting a 3-minute imbalance. Put in a shorter time frame SMT. Let me go down to that smaller time frame, and I just logged out. Let me go to that smaller time frame. When I'm looking at this smaller time frame, I'm like, all right, I like ES. Even though we had the bearish SMT on ES, I like how we swept some sort of liquidity. We swept this liquidity. Let me go on the 15-second. That's a better chart for this. We swept this liquidity. In this order block, this down move is an entire, it's a down move that propels this entire up move. So I identify this as an order block. This is a breaker over here. If you look on the 1-minute as well, I believe we did have a little propulsion, but we never broke structure. So that's why I'm kind of looking at this 30-second. Right here is our breaker. We take out the low and in the breaker, so that's order block in the low. So liquidity swept with a driver to take us higher, as well as this order block this entire down move from this close, from this open to this close. That's the order block. We dive in deep into there, and then we put in on the 15-second, put in 2 fair value gaps. And remember, what is the strategy? Liquidity sweep, break of structure, 2 fair value gaps, targeting the high. What did we see? There was a little something different here that I will give some attention. Was that when we came down, put in this SMT, we put 1, 2. We came down and tapped into the upper, but we didn't really tap into this fair value gap. We just tapped into the the upper of it, like the creation of the upper of this candle wick. So I was like, okay, I can't have my stop at this fair value gap because I entered 34475. 3475. It was kind of up there. All right, 3475. Yeah, so like right here somewhere, whatever. I could have my stop loss right below his low because price already came down and tapped into here. So realistically, I was like, all right, let's just put it 1 point or 1 tick lower underneath that fair value gap, and I'll be okay with price me getting stopped out there. Just because if there was like if there was another tick in between. So say we had this low, and then this low was a tiny bit up, I would put it at the fair value gap high. But since we already tapped into that fair value gap high, like if you see, if we entered basically off here and then put our stop loss at this low, we got stopped. However, since we had it at that fair value gap low of the second one, give it a little more breathing room. This is on the 15-second, keep that in mind. Then it would work out. And it did. This was basically like no 1 minute break of structure, no nothing. This was all on a macro, like tiny ass time frame. And even on the 30-second, we didn't break any structure. The 15-second was just beautiful. Because this is the model on, like, say, this is like a 1 minute model, for example. It's all fractal. This all looks the same, just different time frames. Like, now let's see what Nasdaq did on that S&T. So exactly same thing, except maybe a little bit better with the fair value gap. However, if you look, we came down, put in 2 fair value gaps. We got our break of structure, re-entry down into there, entry right there, stop loss. You see how we can put the stop loss like there, and then it's like I don't know what I'm trying to get up, but that's what I'm trying to say. And then we could target the wick, or Nasdaq, not Nasdaq, but ES was stronger. But honestly, it's kind of strange how ES took the high. If you look, Nasdaq was technically, I believe, stronger, but then ES took out this full wick buy side. So honestly, I should have took profits here, but I went break even. I gotta stop going on here because I can't see any 15-second. I went break even once we reached this internal order block. Oh no, it's MNQ. Hold on, I'll go back. But yeah, that would have been the trade essentially on NQ, but instead of targeting the high, I would have had to basically start to, oh my god, I never used the GAN box on here. I would have to start targeting quadrant levels of this wick because it never hit TP. We just kind of melted. But let me go real quick to, I don't know who the hell is calling me. And this one entry is just like it's just to get like an extra $5. Like I was just kind of being, having some fun. Because once price is going to a certain point, I was like, all right, realistically we're going to get there. What was I going to say? Yeah, technically ES should have like not taken out this wick because it is weaker. But you see how weaker because we came down. But you see that since we swept out the low, we have liquidity to go higher. Nasdaq was just pumping up without any liquidity sweep, in the meantime, like we didn't sweep this liquidity, we're not going to be able to reach this high because we're weak. So that's kind of like the situational awareness of S&Ts on the shorter time frame. You don't just always go to the stronger asset because it lacks liquidity. So like say for example, that's a great example. Say on the larger time frame, right here, perfect. I can just use this as an example. I don't know if it actually happened, but I will use it as an example. Okay, yeah, so say this is a great example if, trading the stronger asset in terms of an SMT. So this is the low I'm looking at, 3:30 p.m. We both take it. Imagine ES does not take this low. When I'm looking at this, I'm like, all right, we get our break lower, we take out this low in an order block. So when I'm taking out a low in an order block, that's telling me, wow, we are, we're good. We're good to start shifting bullish structure. And then we shifted bullish structure, and then, you can take whatever trade from there. That's besides the point. It's then looking at this. It's like, okay, so say ES never swept this low, and it never tapped in that order block. It would just slow grind higher. And in this case, say, for example, that was the case, you can kind of see, oh no, I'm zoomed in. But that's like kind of an example. I want to try and find a better one, but I don't really know if I'm going to be able to find it. It's kind of like it happens day to day. You're not going to be like, it's not going to really stand out like really, really easy. Okay, perfect. This is larger time frame, so right here. Okay, yeah, this is nice. Hey man, bro, Shermaine just sent me the email. I really do appreciate it. That man is a G. He's really like, I'm trying to really master that patience and discipline, and he helps a lot with kind of doing that. So, shout out to him. I really do appreciate him. All right, boom, boom. I guess we could do this low. That one's more prominent. All right, so looking at this, I'm like, all right, I should be trading NASDAQ. We have a stronger SMT. We came, see how we have this low. We came into this low, tapped into an order block with all these lows. So I'm perfectly fine with trading NASDAQ because it swept liquidity to a certain extent, and it tapped into a larger time frame order block or an order block of any kind. And it's stronger. So NASDAQ would have been nice to take to the upside. ES takes out all this liquidity, and it's, I guess you could say, a lot more bearish. We went lower into more arrays, and what do? We tapped into a larger time frame order block, and then what do? We start to move higher. But if you look, NASDAQ is stronger because we do have all the boxes are checked. We have a liquidity into a larger time frame PD array, and in this case you can use stronger of the assets because they both had some sort of sweep or manipulation into a larger time frame PD array. So yeah, and then also this kind of right here. So oh no, that's not anything. Yeah, all right, I'm just gonna end it there though. I wasn't expecting to get a trade today because of how bullish we were, but I decided to take advantage of that on a smaller time frame and just decided to hit a little scalp. I mean, it was only 6.5 points on ES. I don't really know how good that is for ES people because I don't know. The last two trades I took were both losers from ES, so it was nice to get a win on that at this point. And then just keep to that strategy, man. Remember 2 weeks ago, you were in drawdown. There's no difference. 2 weeks ago, you were in drawdown the same way. 1,200 drawdown, and then you had to climb back out of it, and you kind of did, But then you had this tilt week, and then everything went back to shit. So we're gonna do the same thing just over and over again. And today I only risked I only risked $50 on this trade. Like I said, it really wasn't what I wanted to do today. But I did want to see if it played out, and the model played out, so it was very nice. So yeah, work on that risk management, and we'll figure it out. I'll see you. Today's been a great day so far, and then let's have a good day tomorrow. I'll see you then, and peace out.